Hey everyone, Farmington Mayor Nate Duckett here. On today's Mayor's Table, I'm joined with Warren Unsicker, Farmington's Economic Development Director, and we're going to be talking about economic development, outdoor recreation, and what's going on downtown on today's episode. Hey everyone, Farmington Mayor Nate Duckett here with Economic Development Director Warren Unsicker. We hope that you're having a great day and things are going well in your life. Warren, thanks for joining us today.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
I think it's
far too long.
It has been far too long. That's why I think it's kind of the perfect time for us to have a conversation about economic development and what's happening in that realm, whether it's outdoor recreation industry initiative, retirement community, all the different things that we're kind of working on here. It can be good to give everybody an update on what's happening. So thanks for being a part of this.
Pleasure. Looking forward to it.
So I got some notes here, Warren.
Okay.
So I want to make sure that we kind of guide this thing forward. Give us a little breakdown. What are some of the most important priorities right now of things coming out of your office?
Right. And so as many of you well know, and we've talked about before, some of the priorities as a community that we have of outdoor recreation, retirement community, agricultural manufacturing, and things to that effect that really create a kind of synergistic relationship within our community to attract new industry. And it all, of course, dovetails into this new announcement we just had with our airport, just builds into our ability to attract these types of businesses. But we've been seeing actual, even during COVID, growth in some of these industries. And so it's exciting to be in the right direction for diversification as we go through these trying times.
You know, diversification is a key word. We hear it used often, and it's one of the things that, as an elected official, when you're put into office, you get that question a lot. What are you going to do different than what other people have done before you? And we've heard here locally that we need to diversify, but we're so heavily dependent upon kind of our natural extractive energy industries that we have in the area. How can we build on other things? And so the setting we're at today kind of speaks to that. We're at the Farmington Museum. We're on the east side of the museum, right next to the Animas River. It's one of the most beautiful spots in the city, and it's an area that we want to see developed, and is one of the components of what I believe to be kind of an iconic location.
Absolutely.
To bring people down to the river. So let's get into the outdoor recreation industry initiative since we're here. We've had a few successes, and we have some other successes coming along, but let's talk about the Miller and Pinion property that we actually bought and tore down, a very dangerous structure, I believe in the the end of 2018.
Yeah. And so we tore down most of the structures that had been dilapidated or burned, but we did have one remaining structure as a 14,000 square foot facility that was still usable. And we've been trying to seek ways to revitalize and reuse that space. And we were fortunate enough to have two businesses very much interested in operating their new startups within our facility. And so we are excited to have Desert River Guides and Black Bear Unlimited moving into there here within the coming months. Desert River Guides is going to be providing rafting services, something that we've long wanted in this area to have our own dedicated river rafting guide service. And so that's going to be a really exciting amenity, again, that builds into the future of Ori and bringing people to this community. And then Black Bear Unlimited is going to be doing not only fabrication and repairs and rescue of off-road vehicles, but they're also going to be offering guide service eventually as a part of that as well. So these just are perfect dovetails into what we had visioned for Ori as well for the Animas district in downtown in our MRA district. We had looked for light manufacturing and outdoor industry to move into that Animas district, and it's the Miller and Pinion site couldn't be more perfect. It's right next to the both takeouts and put-ins for the river, and easy access to the highway to get over to Chokecherry Canyon and the Glades. So it's just fantastic synergy.
You know, those are the kind of services that you want to see when you're touting a city up as a outdoor recreation paradise.
Absolutely.
Right? You've got to have somebody out there who's providing tours, somebody who's renting mountain bikes, somebody who's using the river space that we have here. And so I'm excited to hear that. I was in Durango the other day, and I know this is taboo to talk about, but driving through Durango and look over the river, and there's two rafts full of people going down it. So this is definitely still huge potential here. And I'm told that our rapids along our section river are family-friendly rapids and should be very attractive. And so a company who's interested in providing that service, it gives them a way of providing the service, making families happy, people smile, and they can feed their families and hire employees and make the cycle go around.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now, we've also looked at and we've funded a river wave study. Tell us about that.
That is correct. So yeah, we're actually going to be taking a look at the entirety of the animus within the city limits and figuring out where there are places that we could develop new and family-friendly and waves, rapids, as well as maybe even stand-up waves. So I'm sure you've seen there's people in Ohio that surf. On the river, surf on the wave.
Right.
And so, in fact, I had a roommate that was from the middle of the country, and he was a better surfer than I could have ever been out in California. And so, this is something that we're taking a closer look at and seeing where we can add some of these amenities. And this is one of those spots that we hope will come out of that study as a location would be perfect for that. So.
Yeah, we were in Colorado in downtown Denver at the Outdoor Recreation Industry Conference last year, and I had a gentleman come up who said, I'm familiar with Farmington. I'm aware of all the rivers that you have there. And he showed me these YouTube videos of these different places in Colorado where you literally take a surfboard out and you're surfing on a wave in a river.
Yeah.
That's kind of a visionary thing to me, to see families and kids tubing and people having that time out on a day like this.
Yeah.
What a great day to be out in the river and enjoying that type of thing. And again, now you're providing a private company, an entrepreneur, the ability to rent out goods, to set up shop, to sell food in those areas. So I think that's really, really crucial.
Absolutely.
Looking at some construction happening around town.
Sure.
I want to talk about the American Furniture property down by Presbyterian Medical Services and Wellbrook.
Yes.
What's going on there?
So yeah, we have a private company that has come in looking to create some elder care and living facilities there in the old American Furniture facility. I'm sure many of you have seen the pop-up of American Furniture over here in the old Office Depot / Spirit Halloween building. We are excited to have them continue on, and then likewise have this great new facility for our retirees and elders in the community. I think it will become an attractor for bringing people from the outside in. It's a perfect dovetail for, again, one of the missions we had, which was to attract active retirees to the community.
This is in my opinion, of course, I'm biased, but it's the ideal location for retirement.
Absolutely.
Low taxes, low utility costs. If you're on a fixed income, you got 280, 300 days of sunshine a year.
Right.
No natural disasters, knock on wood somewhere. I mean, you don't want to track those things. But you have the ability to get out on trails, whether it's along the Animas Park, here behind the museum. And this trail connection, by the way, last time on the mayor's table, Shauna Reeves, our Park and Recreation Director, let us know that the trail going through here is slated to be completed by 2022. Again, giving us full access to this beautiful riverfront. So, which provides opportunities not only to raise the quality of life for the people who live here, but to attract new people here and provide businesses more people that they can serve, regardless of what industry that business is in.
Absolutely, absolutely. And a lot of people will talk about base industry or businesses that are manufacturing goods and such as a key target, but retirement and bringing people in here that don't necessarily require a standard job, but they bring their income and their heart and their volunteerism and boundless experience that they can bring to our community and help just build it that much further into the future. So it's really exciting.
Well, speaking of retirement, we're doing a retirement study right now as well, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so there you're looking at where the opportunities lie in trying to attract retirees to the area and
as well as facilities as well. So yeah, we're looking at a feasibility of where are the gaps in the types of facilities that we provide in this area, who are the developers that might be interested and willing to come and take a look at our community for that purpose, and then likewise, where we stand to have the best success in attracting retirees to our community. So these give us, again, more capability of selling the case for Farmington to the broader world at large. And so, for those of us, those out there that don't know about Farmington, this just adds more allure and attraction for those folks that are on the East Coast or the West Coast or elsewhere. And I've heard anecdotally from our realtors in town that they're starting to see more people from those areas moving here, whether it's for jobs or for retirement. They're seeking this place, this beautiful place that we as a community have created to start their new lives, sections of their lives. So
this brings into mind the location neutral component.
Absolutely.
Where I think a lot of us have learned that with a laptop and a cell phone, you don't even need a printer. A laptop and a cell phone, you can work from home and do a lot of things.
Absolutely.
So we believe that we are an ideal setting for that, and broadband kind of ties into that conversation as well. And so tell us a little bit about the broadband study that's been done.
Sure, and so we've got a few different studies actually going on right now. One that we were partnered with the Southwest Colorado COG to look at formulating a backbone loop, a fiber loop that would interconnect up and around to Cortez and down through Shiprock and around the community to strengthen our fiber connectivity with opportunity potentially to go all the way up into Monticello, Utah, providing us redundancy. Again, that's making it to where if one section goes down, we're not lost completely from internet connectivity. And then likewise, right now we're doing the Farmington Electric Utility is doing a survey to determine need in the community. So if you're a business or a resident and you see a survey come from them, please take a moment to take that survey and tell us how your experience is in our community as we're trying to bolster that. And then likewise, we're looking at EDA funds, the Economic Development Department of the United States of America, and trying to find ways to utilize that funding towards strengthening our middle and last mile. So that's the connectivity that comes right to your doorstep. And so there's a lot of opportunity in broadband. It is a linchpin for attracting location neutral folks. So.
Well, and also with schools, this past 3 months, we've had a lot of kids at home doing home learning,
right?
Which
Absolutely.
Requires broadband, Wi-Fi, in order to access the materials that they need. And so that's going to be something I think is going to be ongoing, and we're probably going to see a broadening of online education now that we can see kind of some of the benefits of doing those things. Telemedicine was another thing that we talked about.
Telemedicine,
broadband's a real key for that as well. But and inside the city of Farmington, we have obviously good internet speed, correct?
Yeah.
We're talking about the broader region around us.
Correct.
Which, it's a rural area, but as much as we can bolster it up, the better.
Right. Yeah, and honestly, having that connectivity strengthened is only going to help us as we're going after things too, like film studios that need to be able to transfer huge files of initial cuts of their films, and we're trying to attract location-neutral businesses or even businesses that just require, like say, telemedicine. Transferring those files are huge, and the longer it takes, the harder it is for them to accomplish their jobs. So. And again, education is so crucial right now, both for higher education and for elementary and K through 12. So I think that we are well poised to try and take advantage of those things and make that a priority here. So,
last few things, because we could go on and on about some of these things, but I want to make sure we point out a couple important ones. One, the San Juan generating project with Enchant Energy continues to be pushed forward. The IRS has obviously released their 45Q tax credits guidelines for investors. Bank of America has now signed on with Enchant Energy, and a team that includes Mitsubishi, Hewitt Construction, Sargent & Lundy, so that's big news. $22 million grant that came from the partnership with New Mexico Tech to do the wells, to sequester the CO2. That's all been a component of this conversation of economic development, because you're trying to sustain jobs.
Right.
So that you can grow jobs, right?
Business retention expansion. I mean, that is a linchpin of economic development.
When you mentioned earlier the need to attract new jobs, but there are industries here that can expand and grow.
Precisely.
And we're obviously trying to help those as well. So if we move from San Juan Generating Project, the railroad partnership that's been created within that work group with San Juan County and the Navajo Nation, that also continues to gain traction. Can you tell us any updates on that?
Yeah, and so, transportation logistics is something we have long lacked in this area. We're kind of unto our own up here. And so having that capability to inexpensively and efficiently get our raw products and the great amenities that we produce here out into the broader markets is something we've been pushing for years. But I don't think it's ever been quite this far into the partnerships and the unilateral effort by both the Navajo Nation, San Juan County, the city, Four Corners Economic Development, all pushing in the same direction to try and find ways to make it a reality. And so not only is that partnership formulated, the county signed an MOU with the Navajo Nation to try and help bolster this, but likewise, we just worked and partnered with the county to apply for what's called the Bridge Grant through the federal DOT. And so that's an opportunity for us to do a rail alignment study. I know we've done some studies in the past. This one would help us engineer and figure out exactly where this line would go, and hopefully provide a package that we can hand to a short haul provider and say, here's the feasibility, here's the demand, and here's where it ought to go, and let's see if we can't make this happen. And so huge opportunity for us to garner some federal funding in upwards of millions of dollars to help with this process and really push this thing into the next level. And then the hope is that there's additional federal infrastructure funding that we could take advantage of as we get into the phase of actually constructing it. So it's moving along, and that's encouraging.
Well, it's been great too to get the partnership solidified with President Nez, Vice President Eliza from the Navajo Nation. I know that they've signed a letter that's gone to Washington, D.C., talking about the need for federal support. And in a time of economic recovery coming out of the coronavirus, or continuing really through the coronavirus situation that we're in right now, these are the types of programs that you would like to see funded that's going to generate long-term, heavy investments of dollars into these communities in rural New Mexico that's going to guarantee jobs and economic development for a very long time.
Correct.
It's going to open up so much opportunity for so many different industries to expand and new industries to come here to the most beautiful place on earth.
Absolutely.
That's the Four Corners. Last but not least, Warren, are actually two more things.
Yes.
Downtown project.
Yes. Moving hot and heavy, and we're excited to see the things that people get excited about, which is the streetscape actually coming in and being put in. For the last several months, a lot of it's been underground. It's been new infrastructure for our businesses down there, stormwater that's going to mitigate flooding in the future for those businesses. But now you're starting to see the above ground amenities come in. You're seeing the flower beds. You're seeing the great new lamps that are going to light up the pedestrian walkways that much better, and the roadways, and the pavers are starting to come in. So the exciting stuff's happening now, and phase one is nearing completion within the next couple weeks, and so it's really exciting to see.
You hate to put a final date on things. July 9th is the date that I was told today. So pure transparency. Obviously our initial goal is to get phase one done in June, but everything always has parts to it, moving parts and things that you find as you go throughout the process. So we're looking at July 9th, and that will allow us to put in, I believe, the lamps, the final part of phase one for the lamps. But council just approved a plan that you put together with Community Works, dealing with outdoor seating and outdoor for dining and retail.
Absolutely, and this is in part of response to the COVID situation and the limitations in the amount of dining and retail, the occupancy that people can have and businesses can have, to expand their square footage essentially out into the right-of-way of the city. So we've built these beautiful wide sidewalks. We want to make sure they can take full advantage of them to put patio dining out or sidewalk sale or whatever may decide or imagine to try and draw people in the outdoors of our beautiful Main Street that we've just put together.
So. The revitalization project, Warren, was designed to create a space.
Absolutely.
Right? It was placemaking. We wanted to slow down traffic. We wanted to make it a more beautiful environment. There's going to be new trees, new plants, the whole bit. But also the expanding the sidewalks gives people that feeling of safety between themselves and the roadway. And it gives businesses the opportunity to utilize outdoor seating in this beautiful area. Of which we've been missing. We want to see rooftop seating. We want to see sidewalk seating. We want that area to become our own and be filled with people all day long. So very excited about that.
Yes.
Finally, we're in the airport. Signed an agreement this week last week with Skywest Airlines to bring commercial jet service to Farmington Regional Airport. That would bring in, right now it's just one flight a day. Leave early in the morning and go to Denver, come back late at night, but allow people to connect into Denver, which has the biggest hub, to get people wherever they need to go throughout the United States. When you talk about economic development, how important is an airport in the city in which you're you're trying to grow.
Absolutely a linchpin item, and kudos to Mike Lewis, our airport director, and Rob Mays and yourself for the vehement efforts that went into working with Skywest. And I talked about the synergies of all the different things we're going after. This fits in perfectly with outdoor recreation and both tourism attraction and business attraction, as well as with retirement living. People want to be able to get their families in and out and to come visit them, and likewise go visit their families if they would come to retire.
And location neutral.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, if you're working here and you got your family here, but your family's in Denver, LA, Washington, wherever, you want to be able to get to them, but still be able to live in a paradise.
So it couldn't have come at a better time, and it's just going to, it's icing on the cake of all the other things we're working on, and so we're very excited about that. So.
Anything else you want to add today, Warren?
No, just that it's been encouraging to see businesses are still expanding. We still have businesses growing. We still have our businesses that we have here that are thriving, and in spite of the coronavirus, they're really doing an amazing job of being creative and thriving through this crisis. And so as we've been through, we formed a business response team that had been pumping out information about how to keep your business vibrant. If there's anyone that has questions, feel free to give us a call. We're more than happy to connect you with the resources that are out there. So
I'm an optimistic guy, I'm a positive guy. I don't want to sheen over the fact that a lot of businesses have obviously struggled quite a bit, not just through the coronavirus, but also during the downtown project as well. The benefit is once all these things are completed and once we get our businesses back up, in my opinion, it's going to feel like we didn't skip a beat. We're going to be pushing through, and businesses are going to be able to reap the benefits of all the work that's been put in by locals here who celebrate this area, by the partnerships with the city and the organizations that make this home, and the businesses that, of course, support this economy. All those things come together in a very congruent way that's going to make for what I hope to be a positive ending to 2020 as we move into the third and fourth quarter. So thank you, Warren, for joining me here today. Thank you, as always, for viewing the Mayor's Table here in the City of Farmington. More information will be coming out, so always stay tuned to the City of Farmington's Facebook page. We appreciate you. Keep your head up. Keep your chin moving forward, and thank you, City of Farmington.